Going live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to another Your Voice where we have
Real conversation.
conversations. And happy Valentine's
Yes.
Day. I hope everybody, Kay, how's your Valentine's been?
It's been great. A lot of self-care going on over here.
Wonderful. Same here. Same here.
Self-love.
Well, what a better day to do it when it's 33 degrees outside, right?
Exactly. Sonia,
Very
I am so excited about today's show. It is near and dear to my heart, especially for women to love themselves. And we talk about Valentine's. We talk about love on Valentine's Day. So I'm excited.
Me too. I think it's important to take it back to the very beginning of what's most important so we can look at it. But for those that are joining us maybe for the first time, my name is Sonia Graham. I'm the author of It's Time to Uncover Your Original Blueprint. It's a book about discovering the real you and your purpose. And my co-host is
Keiko Johnson, and I am the author of Healed Inside Out: My Journey to Wholeness.
wonderful. And the amazing story is how we came together, and I think it's really a fitting story for today's topic. Because after writing our books, it was very grueling, a lot of work and a lot of motivating each other, encouraging one another, a lot of frustration.
Yeah.
And remember, we said when we get done, we're going to take a trip and just go whatever happens, and just have some downtime. And so that's how this show came to be, because we literally did the self-care thing.
Exactly.
We knew it was important because surely we were not getting any of that during the time. I know.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So, it's important to practice what we preach.
Right. So we actually, in case you guys, we took a weekend away. We said we're going to, if it's nothing but a Saturday, stay over till Sunday. We took that Saturday and Sunday we were going to go and just relax and hang out, maybe sit by the pool or something. But we ended up birthing this platform right here, Your Voice. But that just goes to show you, I think, Sonia, when you are at a relaxed state, and your body's relaxed, your mind is at ease, that you're creative. And I believe we were creative, or you were creative with getting the idea, because you were at a relaxed state. You wasn't concerned about this, you wasn't worried about that. And I think that's key to our well-being.
I think that's important, because sometimes we are so busy where you can't hear yourself think, let alone hearing from God or hearing from anybody else, or you're hearing all the things that the repetitive things that are clouding your head, but not giving any clarification, any relief, and then sometimes your creativity will be blocked for that reason as well too. And so if you're a creative person, and if you need to create for a living, that can be very frustrating. Like, even with writing our books, because you get to a point where you want to birth it, you're excited about it, and if you've written a book, there's a lot of editing that comes into play. Not just putting the book together, but the editing part.
Right.
And you have to be patient with it, because if you want to deliver a product that is well received, and you want the person reading it to really capture what you're trying to perceive and bring across, you have to be a strong person with those edits, because they'll hurt your feelings.
Exactly. And then for me, and I think for you too, you have to get to a point where you say, okay, that's enough, because you still want to add more things, and save that for the next book. So
right. And there's more to come. You can't put it all in one book. I mean, mine took 11 years to write. So you can say in that time I felt, I don't know, 10 times I felt that I should have been done with the book, but I'm thankful that I continued the journey, because the book totally evolved into something totally different. And that came also with rediscovering my own self-care for myself, to say, okay, how do I really tell this story? And that whole level of exposure, that was kind of scary to say, wow, once I let this book go, because that was part of the hesitation, the procrastination with saying, okay, I'm done, that it's enough, because I'm like, wow, the minute I say I'm done, it's done, and then the world's going to see it, and then they're going to know my story.
They're going to know your business.
They're going to know my business. But, some things I learned that some of the things you go through are not just for yourself, they're for others. And so if this book changes other lives, which the testimonies I've heard, it's so worth it. It's so worth it to me to have been transparent. And I do want to make a difference. I do want to uncover this epidemic we lose ourselves into things, and so it's important that we know that we're important. So.
And as I'm sitting here thinking, Sonia, we're talking about our books, but guys, we're talking. The show is about loving yourself 365, and that's every day. So as I'm sitting here thinking, we're reflecting about our book, but our books are a result of somewhere we did not love ourselves 365.
Wow.
So somewhere in the last, for mine's, it's about 20 years, there was a little piece that was missing in the puzzle for the self-love part, which brought about some circumstances and situation in my life and in Sonia's life too, that
Yes.
brought about some things that needed to change, which we did change them. And then, the reason we wrote the book is just to share it and show a victory in it and or
So true.
overcoming or the knowledge of
Absolutely.
it. So we're talking about self-care, but in our books, there was some part that was missing in our lives
Mhm.
where we didn't take care of what we needed.
So true.
So
True.
yeah, so our books are a product of self-love, loving yourself
Self-love, absolutely.
365. Right.
Absolutely. You know, and
Right.
part of it is taking responsibility. Because sometimes with our self-care, we blame, oh, I can't because of the kids, I can't because of this and that and the other. And honestly, they haven't asked you to sacrifice your lives. It's just that's a decision we make that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do it. And yes, they love it and they love that you do it and they do come to expect it, but really a lot of times it's our choice. It's our choice that we sow in 1,000%, because where are we in that dynamic? We have to be, we are a piece of the puzzle, so we have to be important. So that doesn't make sense if you think about it.
Right. And you know that what I've noticed, Sonia, is that a lot of the younger moms, not our age, but like in the 30, their 30s
Mhm.
and early 40s now, they are doing a lot of self-care.
Oh
I
yeah.
even saw there's like a group of moms that actually travel once a year, and I forgot the name of the group, but they actually they make sure that they travel once a year and they leave their kids at home. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't travel. I didn't travel. I didn't have a girls' weekend away or all of that,
Yeah.
but I probably should have. And that's not the only thing because I think also loving yourself is also emotionally.
Yeah.
My book talks a lot about emotions.
Right.
So self care is also about emotionally taking care of yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And
So
that's
yeah,
true. And that's your
yeah,
physical, that's everything from the
the
time
whole you.
you wake up in the morning, how you care for yourself. Do you exercise? Do you work out? Do you take vitamins? What do we do for ourselves? And I think it's funny you're talking about how the younger generation, those mothers are like, oh, I'm gonna have my time, my me, and I'm like,
Hmm.
oh. And the thing is, our thing was, well, when the kids
Yep.
get grown, and you know what? That's so sad because
Right.
it's so sad that we don't have a life. We decided we were not going to have our own life until they got grown, and they were having their lives. The children, the spouses, and all that. They were having their lives, but ours was just on hold. We were just in watch pattern, just watching everybody else do things, and we were in wait. So I am very happy that the younger generation understands that tomorrow is not promised. While you're waiting for your kids to graduate, you don't know if when that happens that you'll end up in a position where you can't move around or you're not even here.
That's
So
right.
we have to enjoy today, every day to its fullest as much as possible.
That's right. And your purpose, the reason that you're here did not stop when you had kids and it doesn't stop. It's not put on hold for 18 years until you get your kids out of the house. You still have a purpose that God gave you
Yes.
even while your kids are young.
Right.
So you should be working on that and that may take you away from them for a day or two.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of we need to stop doing that. We
And,
need to.
and, and they're if they say healthy happy wife, happy life, happy any of that stuff. If you're happier in your life period, then that means you're gonna be a happier person when you deal with anybody.
Right.
So if you take care of yourself, you're going to be a better form of yourself in any relationship or any situation. Because if you're frustrated, you're bored, and I think a lot of the funny thing is, like, if I would have finished my book in the beginning, like I said, I always say it would have been a husband bashing book because I was a lot of blame. I don't do this, I don't get to do that, I don't do it, all of that. And then through the years, I realized, why don't I?
Right.
It was a choice. It wasn't
That's
because
right.
that person said you can't do this. It wasn't any of that. It's just I chose not to.
You chose not to.
Yeah. Oh, I have
And why? And why did you choose not to? Why did you do that? So those are questions that you ask yourself in starting to take the journey to love yourself 365. You need to start digging deep. And
yes.
digging deep, I mean, ask yourself some serious questions on why do you have the behavior that you have.
Right.
And then when you answer yourself, write it down and assess it and see if that's good behavior, or if that's a good thought, or if that's a selfish thought,
Right.
or if that thought shows that you're dealing with something else besides what you're thinking.
Right.
So
That's
it's
good.
actually, this whole loving yourself. If you are not taking care of yourself and loving yourself every day, let's figure out why. That's the first
Right.
question. And I don't want to see on anybody's paper money, because you don't need money to have self-care. Okay, I haven't spent any money today, but I have had self-care by resting, reading,
Mm-hmm.
watching what I want to watch on TV. I close my door. I don't have anybody calling me or asking for anything.
Right.
So that's a part of self-care. And I
Mm-hmm.
can do my own mani pedi if I wanted to. I have some stuff here.
Right. If you want to pull it out,
Yeah, if I
exactly.
want to fill that out, I can do that too. But it's about making the time and making it important for you.
Right. A bubble bath. It doesn't have to be anything.
Yeah, bubble bath.
I was
Yeah,
talking to somebody and they were saying that they haven't, because we get so busy. You jump in the shower, jump out. But to say they said they've lived in their house X amount of years and they haven't taken a shower, but maybe they can count it on one hand. But it's a choice because it takes, when you take a bath,
I hadn't
you
taken a
let the
bath,
water
man.
run, you got to get in there, you got to
Yeah,
soak. And honestly, you think about it, quiet time is good time.
yeah.
We just need to shut down. And sometimes, why are we so afraid? Why are we so afraid to shut down? Because we think we're going to forget something. We think that whatever it is that that's waiting for us won't be there. Why do we rush past just the simple things?
Yeah,
What is that makes us do that? And everybody out there in the audience, this is your voice, your real conversations. Chime in on these conversations. Right now I see all these wonderful happy Valentine wishes and stuff. Come on, ladies, and guys, everybody, be a part of the conversation, because self-care is not just for the ladies, it's for everybody. It's
yeah.
for
And
everybody.
when you said that, Sonia, about having a house with a nice bathtub, we take this time and pick out this nice bedroom. It has to have the sauna tub. It has to have this and it has to have that. Then
Mhm.
you get up every day and go to work, come home, like you said, jump in the shower and don't enjoy.
Right.
So why did you get it? You got it. You got these things to enjoy. So
Right.
let's not let life move us instead of us moving
Right.
life.
Mhm.
So that's life moving us. I got to get up. I got to get this. I got to get this next deal. I got to get this.
Right.
No, we're going to take the time. And especially for me, 2020, if it didn't show me anything, it showed me that people are important.
Mm.
Those people that you love, those people that you care about, and you just take for granted that you're going to see them tomorrow.
Right.
No, that's a part of loving yourself 365 too, is letting yourself
Yes.
love other people
That's
and
true.
showing them that.
Yeah, and not taking people for granted.
Yeah,
Isn't it interesting how we expect the people that are closest to us to understand? So where we make, for example, with somebody that you're in a relationship, or even your children, you'll say, "Oh, I'm running a little late," but they'll understand. Instead of that outside person needing to understand. It's really funny how we take for granted some of the people are closest to us sometimes, and that's not fair. And so in turn that happens to us as well too. But I think what I've learned in 2020 is that as you love and value people, you can't take them for granted or take for granted they're even going to
That's
be
right.
here.
That's
It's
right.
a time
That's
to
right.
show people you love them, how you feel about them. And honestly, it's a time, if you haven't forgiven some people, it's a time to forgive them, because trust me, more than often, those people are gone about doing their thing. They don't even know you have a problem with
That's
them.
right.
And that's why I truly believe when I say forgiveness is for you, and it is, because it's you that's being burdened with whatever that is you're holding on to, and chances are they've moved on past it, don't even know it exists.
Right.
So
And that's true. And you not taking those people for granted, and you not allowing those people to take you for granted. So you speak up. That's a part of self-care. That's a part
yes,
of loving yourself. Is like I say, nip it in the bud. I mean, I've had to learn this. This
yeah,
is not something that I've always done, because if someone told me they were going to do something for me and they didn't do it, I would just let it, okay, whatever. But now, and it actually bothered me on the inside and I didn't say anything. But now I learned that you have to say something, because you're treating those you're showing those people how to treat you. Well,
that's
you're not going to tell me something and then don't do it or don't come through on it. I don't like that. I like when you tell me, or you at least tell me, hey, I can't.
right.
Say something. Say
Um,
something. So self-care is about treating people, telling people how to treat you. So that's a part of everyday living. I don't care who it is. If it's the lady in the checkout stand, if she is, mean to you, ma'am, are you having a good day? Okay. I just want to see if you're having a good day. If not, let me know. We can, I might can give you some wisdom, or I can pray
maybe
for
you'll see
you.
somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe you need to, ask your boss to go on break, and here's $5. Go get your Starbucks coffee. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, and that does happen. So I think part of that, what you're saying, would you say setting boundaries is important?
well, yeah, setting boundaries, and then also letting people know how they're going to treat you.
Hmm.
How how you are not going to treat me any kind of way, because I'm not going to treat you any kind of way.
Yeah.
So, because if you do that for so long, bitterness or anything could build up on the inside, especially as
Resentfulness.
women, we're emotional. So you got to remember I said in the very beginning, you have to look at, yourself emotionally as well.
That's so true. That is so true. And I think transparency in this time of so many people putting on airs, and we work on jobs, and you don't have to like the people you work with, but you should have some kind of level of respect, and respect
Yeah,
enough to get the job done, and respect enough to respect other people's their level of skill, their expertise, which in turn usually helps the job get done a little more efficiently. But I always say that when I'm in my day to day life outside of work, I'm not the person you see, whether I'm at work, church, wherever, you're going to see the same person. I'm down to earth. I'm easy to talk to. I'm a lover of people. That's just who I am. And at the end of the day, I choose not to be around people that are not authentic, that are not real, that are plastic, that are fake and phony. And especially, I learned as I got older, I just can't tolerate it. It's just something about that. You just sometimes in some arenas you have to deal with it, but when I don't have to, I don't. Period. And that's my self love as well too, saying that I love myself enough to be around people that are going to be authentic. Again, they doesn't mean you have to be the best friends and
right,
run. It just means that you care enough to be around people that are going to be honest with you, are transparent, and just be who they are. None of us are perfect. And by
right.
any means do we want people, I don't want people to think that I think I am, because I'm not. I'm still learning. I'm definitely a work in progress.
Nobody's perfect, and we're never going to be perfect. Never, ever, never, ever. But it's about shooting for. It's about setting a mark and shooting for it. And then after you meet that mark, shoot for another one, you know? So,
That's true. So,
yeah.
so you guys out there, give us some examples of what you do for self-care and self-love. You guys, so we can share this with some of our audience members. Give some ideas of what you guys do for self-care and self-love.
Well, I'll start by one thing that I do about every 2 or 3 months. I take a weekend, and I stay right here in Houston, but I go get a room. I
Mm-hmm.
go get a room. I get the room on Friday to Sunday, and on Friday night it's just me, myself, and I.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get in the room. I eat whatever I want to eat. So I go and I order my food. Well, we used to could have room service, but since Mr. COVID
Not
hit the
Mr.
scene, since Mr. COVID hit the scene, he messed up my plans because I used to get room service. But now I have to go out and get my food, and I bring it back to the room and I eat in the bed. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't make my bed the whole weekend. I don't leave the room. I might leave the room to go work out or
Mm-hmm.
go to the pool. I whatever I want to do. Whatever I want to do. I wake up Saturday morning when I want to wake up. I wake up Sunday morning when I want to wake up. And then I often find that time, like I said before, that you get creative. So I'll get on my computer and I'll start writing. Or last time I went, I took a couple of little certifications, little training certifications or exercise um, certifications. I did those. So
Mm-hmm.
I got a little, you get a little creative, but I'm so rested.
That's wonderful.
So that's one of my self-care things that I do. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You can book a room. You can go to any of these little trip websites. They give you discounts. You can get, if you book far out in advance, you can get a room for $50 a night, or $70 a night in a nice hotel.
Yeah, that's so true. We have Vicky Farmer Strokes. Hey, Vicky.
Hi,
It says,
Vicky.
it says before COVID-19, I was having lunch once a month with sister friends from high school for the past 25 years, and that was part of my self-care. Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, now a lot of people are doing it on Zoom. So
Yeah.
one of my clients, they still meet and they all go get their lunch and then they they meet on Zoom. So you know what? I think that's so important. That's important. That's still part of self-care because for that group of women, that was the only outing that they really had. These are senior women, I like to call them. So that
Mhm.
was the only outing that they really had. So them getting lunch and sitting together on a Zoom and just talking and having
Yeah,
conversation, that's self-care. That is self-care for your mind, socially. That's good.
that is awesome. And that reminds me, like, before my daughter, because my daughter was like, I'd call my ride or die. Went everywhere together. And I said, you know what? If I wait until she graduates from high school to get a life, I'm gonna be really messed up. So I started an organization called Me Time for Real, and basically it was a social on Facebook as far as we plan an outing, and it's like you just get in where you fit in. We can go skating, bowling, or whatever. And the nice thing is it was like all of these women were looking for something to do and they hadn't thought about doing something like this, so it was really great. We actually volunteered, but just the time to say, you know what, by golly, I'm gonna do something for myself. And so then it really took off. The only problem is, sometimes when you start something, like the caveat was that, okay, I've got the platform, you guys also help me find outings, and I'll post it and we'll go, but it got to be me finding all the outings. So it got to be work, but it was just a blessing to see the change it made for a lot of people.
Right.
It
That's
was
nice.
important for them to do this Me Time for Real. So I'm looking forward to getting back to doing things like that again, because you're right, just your social, your love, and with your friendships and those things, that when you do that, that's good for your soul too, especially if you're a lover of people, or you just care about people. I think that's also self-care. I do agree with you.
Awesome. Awesome.
So we have any other feedback on here for self-care? So self-care can also be going to the beauty shop once a week, or going to get pampered, like you just watching a movie, going to go find your favorite movie and some popcorn, just some quiet time reading a book. I think self, it basically means, what am I going to do that I like? Something that I used to do, maybe haven't done it for a long time, or something I keep making excuses that I don't have time to do. And
Hmm.
I say you make time for what you want to make time for.
That's right.
You know,
That's
because
right.
if you want to do it, you'll figure it out how to get it done.
That's right. And oops, my friend, one of my friends, we were talking today, and she said, "You know what? This is the first time it didn't matter to me that I didn't have a Valentine, that I didn't get a Valentine's gift." And we were just talking, and she said, "You know, I've never ever." Well, she said last year she did have a date or whatever, but it was like just totally wasn't up to par, whatever. But she said this year it didn't even bother me that I didn't have a Valentine's date candy or whatever. And I said, that shows, I said to myself, that shows so much
Mhm.
internal growth.
Yes.
So much internal growth. So today is Valentine's Day, and you will know that it's Valentine's Day by the store. I mean, I went to Kroger's. There's chocolate covered strawberries everywhere, and that is my favorite. I
Yes.
love. That's another thing for self care. If I wasn't dieting, I used to go and get myself chocolate covered strawberries every
Mhm.
Valentine's. I didn't care if I had a boyfriend, husband, or whatever. I got it for myself anyway. And
Absolutely.
then, yeah, I would do it, periodically during the year as well. But getting back to her, um, that showed that she had taken care of something on the inside. She
Hmm.
took care of why she felt some kind of way, celebrate, on Valentine's Day when she didn't have a Valentine. Why did you feel like that? So she has worked on something throughout this whole year. And I think I say it all the time. I think 2020 made us self-reflect,
Yes.
fix some things, get some things straight, figure out why we're doing stuff. Some stuff we do, some ways we feel don't even make any sense.
No. You,
So
we got to know ourselves. We didn't have a choice in 2020 but to self-reflect.
right,
And
right.
I think if you, I can't imagine how you could have came out of 2020 the same, because it's just things that we had never saw in our lifetime. So when you're forced to look at things that are out of your comfort zone and not knowing day to day what that's going to be, there's no way that you can continue to operate it in the way you've been operating. And also with us being in this pandemic, something that has taken so many lives, uh, young, old, and affected so many families. It just makes you really appreciate that saying that we heard for so many years, is that tomorrow is not promised. I mean, it made you look at that in a whole different way of understanding that, wow, from every day I wake up and when I walk outside, like, as long as I was in my home, I felt comfortable. But the minute I walk outside, I feel like, I felt I'm exposed. Even now, you're exposed because you don't know that one step out the door could be that encounter that maybe you would get COVID, maybe you wouldn't. You just, it's so much uncertainty. So then that's why it's so important. The things I had control over, I made sure the little things that I wanted to do, I start doing them, at least moving in the direction of doing them. I actually redid my bedroom. I just got a new bedspread, and after that, it was just on and popping. I was like, "Ooh, and this and that." But now I walk into that room, and it makes me feel so good,
Yeah,
And it's like I've had everything in that room for like the past 5 years and hadn't done anything to it because I didn't think it was a big deal. But now after doing this, it's a big deal because it makes me feel so good. So it's just, you don't know what those things are, but when don't ignore the things that little voice or something that makes you yearn for something. There's a reason, because that's has something to do with how you're made.
right. That's right. That's right.
So
So what do you do now, Sonia, for self-care? What's your favorite thing?
I'm juicing. Me and my sister, as a matter of fact, we are
Oh,
juicing every Sunday. This is our 10th week. And as a matter of fact, I posted a picture. We shaped them to a shape of a heart. So Super Bowl Sunday, we are juicing. So whatever it is, even when we have the show, we make sure we juice early so we can juice. So that is a sacrifice, but it's definitely self care, self love, because I love how it's making us all feel. Because I'm not just
good.
juicing for myself; we're doing it for the family. So it's awesome. It's an
That's
awesome
good.
feeling.
That's great family time.
It is. It is. So we actually say that next time we're gonna incorporate some line dancing or something, because we listen to old music. We do. Me and my sister, we have a ball. We're listening to old music. We're just talking about old things because we're young. And but we say, next time let's start to incorporate some line dancing, because that's like I forgot half the ones I used to know because we haven't got to use any of those things.
Right.
And so I told her, I said, because I'll break out my roller skates and skate around in my kitchen. I do, one of those things you got to do it till you can't. So I'm gonna
That's
be
right.
skating. I can't go to the rink, but I will break them out and skate around my little kitchen. It's all right.
That's all right.
How about you, Kay? What are you doing
Um,
right now?
Now basically I go and I do a mani pedi, whereas I didn't used to before.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of found a place where I feel comfortable going. So I go and I do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go um just kind of to the store or just somewhere by myself and just kind of roam. And that's an outing for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The thing that I'm saying that I do is I take time with myself. I'm not
That's key.
including anybody else. It's just for me.
Mm-hmm. That is key. That is key there. And then, do you think for travel? I heard you mention, I think it's just like a comfort thing, because I know a lot of people are traveling right now, but we took just a road trip to Corpus, which is like just three hours away. But it's amazing, like just the refresh, just like a
Change.
change of scenery, just a change, And like you said, it doesn't have to be anything really expensive or extravagant, but it's just saying that you've taken the time to do something different. I mean, it was just so cool just to be in a different environment. And then the quality time, in the car, just having those quality conversations. And
Right.
I think
That's right.
as humans, we're being forced to have more interactions, and the world has gotten away from that with all the texting and the false sense of, I call it false sense of communications. And this is how bad it is. You'll send somebody a message, happy birthday, on Facebook, and you'll think that you literally have talked to that person, because it's like, did I talk to you? Oh no, that was just a message. So, we have a false sense of communication. So in a lot of ways, we have to get back to really the old fashioned communicating.
Right.
We really have to. So for you, for Valentine's, let's talk about Valentine's. So a lot of people think you need a person to have a Valentine, but you are your Valentine, right?
It's
And if you're with the right person, Valentine should be 365 days of the year also.
right.
It
Right.
should be one day of the year, like happy, you go out all your, to me, I think it should be Valentine's every day if you have the right person.
Yeah, I've never, even when I was married or, before then dating or dating now, Valentine has not been a big deal to me.
Mm-hmm.
My birthday is a bigger deal. So Valentine's Day, if we decided to do gift exchange or whatever, that was fine. And if they didn't, I didn't pitch a fit. You didn't give me anything. I'm not that type of girl.
No.
No. So this year, I like I said, because of the weather, um, it's just a good time just to spend some time at home. So I chose to we went to the store earlier today. I have what we're gonna eat. I have what we're gonna watch, and that's it. That's the Valentine's. But the key thing about that is I don't let the holiday or the day make me decide if I'm gonna love or not.
Mm,
I love every day.
that's important.
And I'm not a what do you call it? You know how you Sonya, you are. Every time she get off the phone with you guys, she's gonna say, I love you, talk to you later. And she says it so fast it just sounds like part of the ending of a conversation because it's so comfortable for her. But I
Mhm,
have never been that type of person.
mhm,
But Sonya almost makes you be that type of person. Say, oh, I love you too. So it's very comfortable for her. But
yeah,
one thing that I know that I'm working on is to be more vocal in saying, "Oh, I love you," and "Love you." Talk to you later. I need to do that more, and so
mhm.
Valentine's reminds us to show love
Yeah,
and to say I love you. So I said all that to say, if somebody just told me, "Hey, I love you," uh, have a good day, whatever. If they say that once a week, that's good. I don't have to wait for Valentine's Day.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And
But
it,
it's nice to get gifts for Valentine's.
yeah, it's always nice to get gifts. And you know what? You can always. My daughter actually is a good example. She buys herself flowers. She loves
Right.
flowers.
I did too. I
So
did too.
she buys herself fresh flowers
I did
once a
too.
week. I think that's a beautiful thing because also you setting a precedent with what you like also.
Right. Right.
You're saying that I just like this. I don't like this because this is something that has to come from someone. It's just something I enjoy. So whether it comes from someone or
Yeah.
not, I'm gonna make sure I enjoy that. But I think that
Right.
is awesome. That is
Yeah.
really a cool thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
I started doing that too. I didn't used to do it when the kids were at home, but it
Hmm.
seemed like when they got older, I started doing more things that I like for myself, and buying flowers was one of them.
That's awesome. That
Yeah.
is awesome. And then, what's
Hmm.
your favorite flower? What's your
Uh, I like, I guess, maybe lilies,
okay?
the different color ones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it'd be the lily.
All right. And you have
And
a
then
green,
I like bouquets with like 15 different colors in it.
yes,
So it's
different.
not just like, yeah, just not one flower I like. So if I'm gonna buy myself something, it's gonna have a variety of different flowers in it with tons of color in it.
Right, right, right.
Those are bright. I like those.
Yeah, I love flowers too. I love them a lot. I don't have a green thumb, but I have found a trick to get them to last a little longer is making sure you keep that water clean
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
rinse off the stems, cut the stems, and so I mean I get them lasting quite a while. So I like
Yeah.
that because if you enjoy them, you don't want to them to last just 2 days and they're gone. So and I'll cut them down. They'll start to look like a different bouquet by the time I get done with it because I cut them down.
So they were like this and that's how they like that.
Exactly, exactly.
So what are you doing, my dear? How's your Valentine's Day?
Me? Oh,
How's your Valentine's Day?
oh, okay. I didn't know if you're talking to one of the audience members. It's been great. I had some special. Somebody made some amazing chicken soup for me. So chicken soup is good for the soul. So that was
Oh,
wonderful. And again, Valentine's is every day. I spoke to everybody that I love for the most part. I got my son to still call. He's one. Some of those boys are a little different.
trust me, tell me. I
Yeah,
know. I
you
always have
know
to.
firsthand,
Yeah,
right?
I have to initiate it most of the time, but they're getting better.
Yeah, they say we're wired different. They say men and women, they say there's things that we need and it's a part of us, but they just don't think that way. And it's not that they don't care, it's just that they don't have that same need that we need. But
Yeah.
all in all, let's talk about commercialism as it pertains to any holiday. Valentine's, think about how many billions, millions of dollars are spent on Valentine's Day. And like I said, you see they put the little pop-up tents with the flowers, the balloons, and all those things. You know, it just makes me think about if the world, going back to a biblical standpoint, that the number one thing we're supposed to do is love thy neighbor, love, 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 love. That's how many times is that in the Bible? So if you think about if it's in there that many times, but only one day a year do we make it a big deal, that's something's wrong. But I think if we just have to get back to what love really is. And I know love is different than joy because love goes back to temperamental. It's conditional based on what's going on in your life. So I want to say all that to say that self care, I think it needs to be based on joy and not just love. It needs to be, you need to find the joy in yourself. Number one, I'm joyful that I just woke up this morning,
Right.
because not everybody did, and my joy sometimes is like, no, you're not going to take that away. I'm gonna fight you for my joy. You're gonna try to take it, but it's gonna be a fight. And so it's something that we have to hold on to understand how important it is for us to fight for our joy. It's ours to have, but it's only we can give it away. And so we need to understand the power of our own self love, which is
Right.
the joy that we can keep for ourselves.
Right.
I think that's so important, but it's one of
Joy,
those.
like joy is a part of self-care. Joy is you need to have, and I know it seems ridiculous that to say that you're going to be joyful every day, but having joy is a choice.
Yes.
It's a choice. Um, so you choose to be joyful in every situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think happy is temporary, but
Yeah.
joy is internal. Joy is something that you get from the inside and it exudes on the outside.
Absolutely.
Happy is something that just stays on the outside. So joy is you have to grow that or groom that in yourself
Right.
to have it every day.
And then why do we think that it's, Valentine's, we think love, but immediately when people think love, they think of them and somebody else. I mean, that's, when you think about it, and that's where the whole commercialism of Valentine's comes in. That piece is like, but just think how many people are so sad on this day.
Yep.
And I hear things that when we talk about self love, we talk about the mental, your mental, your mental health, and how much are you letting this day affect your mental health because you don't feel like you have what society deems as what you need for Valentine's, which is that significant or that other person. I think that's a big miss because it, you shouldn't need someone. That's like saying you should already be whole. I need to already be my own whole heart. Because if my heart is whole, then I'm more apt to be able to be a part and to love something or somebody else. But if
That's right.
I'm not complete, then somebody is others. You can't. A person is not going to be completed by somebody else. They're going to be changed by someone else. They're going to be in a relationship. It should only add to you. It shouldn't take away from you.
Right.
You
That's
know.
right.
So I think that's hard. That's hard. And I feel my heart goes out to people that put so much emphasis on having that person on Valentine's. You know.
Right. Right. Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head when you talked about that person needs to be whole because that's part of loving yourself
Mm,
is making sure that you are whole, making sure that you fixed every broken part of you or at least you're working on it.
yeah.
So if there's something that's not and a lot of times we don't even know it. It takes somebody else to recognize it and tell you
That's so
that
true.
hey, that's off in you. You're
That's,
that's not the way you're supposed to be thinking. Okay, but when that person tells you that, it is your, or you may read a book and the book may challenge your way of thinking about it or thinking about that subject. And then at that point you need to fix it if you decide that hey, that is off in me. um like with this is me personally. Valentine's Day is just not for men to buy women gifts
hmm.
and to tell men to tell women they love them. Women, if you're in a relationship, should also
Yeah,
exude the same amount of interest and same amount of love
I agree.
if you're going to participate in
Right.
it.
It's
So
not
it's not you.
avoided.
Right. Yeah, it's not you sitting back waiting for your husband or your man to bring you all these flowers, all these gifts and
Mm,
take they plan the dinner date. No. You should have the same amount of interest in showing them love as well if you guys are going to celebrate it. So and if you feel any different way, why do you feel that way? Because love is ongoing. Love is I think of love like this. Love is not like a little, oh, it's not a one-way street. It's a traffic zone. It's love. You're one towards another.
Yeah.
The Bible says love one another.
One
So
another.
it's one towards another.
Hmm.
So, you know, I think that's an issue on this day.
So the question I just popped up is what's important? I want to hear from the ladies' perspective for your Valentine's. Like, what is that thing that's important to you for Valentine's? And it doesn't mean you have to have a significant other. You know, maybe it's important for you to do you pamper yourself or
You
what
know
do
what?
you do?
I won't even find out if Valentine's is important. Do you ladies even think Valentine's Day is
There you
not
go.
important to me? It's not important to me. Now, I like gifts. I like going, I don't like going out to eat on Valentine's, even if it wasn't, the pandemic. But I would rather just sit and just enjoy the other person's company. And of course, looking at the five language love, Sonia, we need to have a show on that. The five love languages,
The love language.
yeah.
Yeah.
So mine's is communication or verbal. So if that person tells me they love me, or that person tells me, that they appreciate me, I'm good. That's not all the time. I do like things, but that's the most important is what you verbally tell me,
Yeah.
because that's what's going to go into my heart.
Yes.
If you give me all of these things, you can give that to somebody else.
Yes. And
You
flowers
know,
die, right? Fla-
right?
Flowers
Flowers
die
die.
and candy's eaten. It's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. What's Vicky say here? It says, because I take care of myself emotionally and take time for me, now I
Oh,
can
that's
teach
good.
that is powerful. My daughter how to do it and the importance, and I can pass. That's right. That's so
That's
that's powerful.
important.
Yes,
I
yes,
love that. I
that's
try to
important.
do the same thing with my granddaughters. I talk to
Mhm.
them about taking care of themselves, and about that having a boyfriend doesn't make them who they are.
No, no, no.
Take care of yourself. Men are attracted to women that have that are whole, that are complete, that are not looking. You out there looking like you're looking for a man. I think that's so important for young girls today. And what Vicky said about showing her daughter how to take care of herself, that's teaching her daughter how to be whole and complete.
Absolutely. And we have another one, Kay.
Yeah, I see on the screen from Victoria. Definitely pampering myself, but I would prefer being on the page where every day was Valentine's Day with mom, as opposed to having to reserve it all for one day. She thinks like her mom.
Okay. That's true. Every day
She's
should be Valentine's Day.
Every day should be Valentine's Day.
It is.
And I guess they're saying for the people who are not as lovable as like are my beautiful co-hosts, everybody that's not as lovable and tells people they love them all the time, they're giving them one day to get it right.
Yeah, one day. This is it. If
Yeah, you have one day to get it right.
that's true. And you know what? The I hear. I mean, I hear so many crazy stories about in the younger generation. You know, like okay, uh, when they're talking to someone, is it an issue? Because okay, if I'm talking to them around Valentine's Day, that means I got to give them a gift. You know, and that's a problem. Again, it's that pressure of material things. It really has nothing to do with the relationship or even a friendship. It has to do with, them looking forward to whatever it is that they're going to receive or whatever they have to buy. So I think that's missing the whole mark with even establishing any kind of relationship or friendship. You know, it's totally missing the mark. Let's see what we have. Older. So remember how simple it was when we were in elementary, how you did the cards and you just asked people to be your Valentine cake.
Yes,
Do you
yes,
remember that?
yes. Or
Uh,
you brought your Valentine's cards and Valentine Day cards, and you put a a good piece of candy on the person that you like.
I'm not a good piece of candy.
You know, your mom will buy you candy, and some of them will be, good, and some of them will be just plain. Well, you gave them the Snickers, and you gave everybody else the little 2-penny suckers.
So you gave the one you liked, the better candy.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, hmm yeah. And then you'd be so upset if you didn't get a Valentine's from a
I
certain
know.
person. I brought my kids Valentine's Day cards up until they were way up into, I think maybe 6th grade.
Right.
We'd go give Valentine's cards to give to all of their classmates, and then as they got older, it wasn't the classmates; it was just to their friends.
And everything changed in schools because I remember I had really fond memories of my grandmother. They had like these ice creams that have the heart shapes on them, and back in the day, you can bring food and share it with your class. All that changed. You can't bring food, and because of people having different allergies, it's just so different. And
Right.
then if you did cards, you had to do cards for everybody in the class and things because people start to be mean because we just automatically gave everybody a card, but it seemed like
Yeah, we
I
did
remember
too.
when my kids were in school, they go, "You need X amount of cards, or you can't do cards at all." Like, what was that mean? And they would say it's because some kids are mean to other kids, and they'll just leave them out, and then they'll feel bullied. And I'm like, what? So it's interesting how things, maybe that always existed, but I don't remember that. I loved to give them, I wanted to make sure everybody had one. Hey, this is for me, and you're a little kid, you wanted to, it was just so important to give them that little Valentine, and it wasn't anything about it was just not being nice, it was just a way to be nice. I would not have thought to not give it to anybody. So we're in some different times, we really are. So
Is anybody in the comments saying Valentine's Day is some commercial uh bull in the corn?
not pulling the corn.
Bull in the what do they call it? Bull in the outhouse, or bull in the
Not necessary. Okay, who thinks
not
Valentine's Day is
necessary.
not necessary? Does anybody think it's not necessary?
I don't think it's necessary.
You don't think it's necessary? Again, it should be, if it's love, it's behind love. Love should be not a piece of candy or a chocolate, right? Or a flower. It should be what's in your heart.
What's in your heart every day? Because a guy can have 3 girlfriends and go buy 3 gifts. What does that mean? You know,
Ooh, that's a
what
whole
does
other
that
show, okay?
yeah, what does that mean? You got a Valentine's Day gift, and what?
Yeah. Which Valentine are you? How many in
Which
which
which Valentine? Huh?
yeah, that's a whole
Yeah,
nother
which Valentines are you? What does that matter? It doesn't matter. What matters is what we're talking about,
show.
loving yourself 365. And then we talked about making sure you tell people or show people how to treat you. No, you're not just going to give me a gift that you bought for every other girl. Leave me out the stack. You can just text me happy Valentine's in that case.
That's it. That's right.
Yeah.
And then
So
that's what those
loving yourself.
boundaries. And old saying, I think Pharaoh always says that. Oh, Pharaoh says it ain't necessary, but what he always says is, if you need to know what you deserve and what you don't deserve, and that is so true. And who
That's
establishes
good.
what you deserve better than yourself?
That's
By
good.
the way you treat yourself.
That's good.
So I think that's really important, is if you show yourself what you deserve, then you're setting a standard. And that's what's missing. I think we have to set standards. So
Right.
anybody else think it ain't necessary? Anybody else think it's not necessary?
Uh,
It ain't. Tell them. Okay, Kay, he said yes, tell them. Oh well, okay. So it is stand. Oh, I stand. Oh, he said he stands by that. So you have full support. Is that from a male's perspective, Mr. Phelps, or that be all the way around? Just curious, because I often wonder, do men really love giving those, or do
I
they
think
just do
I
it
think they
because the
feel
woman
pressured.
wants them?
I think I think they feel pressured. I think they feel pressured because it's Valentine's Day, and as a woman, we walk in the store, we see everything about Valentine's, and then your friend, at work on Friday gets this big basket, you know, and they're thinking, oh, your wife is gonna feel some kind of way, and let's be real. At the end of the day, a man wants to be appreciated affectionately. So, I think he thinks I better do something great for Valentine's.
Yeah, it's gonna be a different.
Yeah, it's going to be not good this whole
So
week.
it's given with intentions of expectation of something else. It's like a cause and effect type of thing. It's like
Yeah,
if I
I
do
think they
this,
think,
it's gonna something else is gonna. But if I don't do this, I'll have hell to pay. First of
yeah,
all, don't
well, I
walk in
think
the
they
house
think
without a
women,
Valentine.
exactly. I think they think that women expect it, but then that just goes back to you talking to each other about Valentine's Day. Hey, what you want to do? Are you expecting anything? I love you, baby. So I give to you all the time. You know, he can, say something like that.
So love 365 days of the year. It says it can. Ms. Phelps says it can feel the pressure, but you should show love. Period to the one you're with.
Exactly. That's our ending of the show right there.
That's it. You can start. We can drop a mic on that, right? We drop it. Well, it's been a amazing day having this conversation, but we just didn't want those that were looking at Valentine's Day that thought they missed something think they missed anything. Because if you woke up today and you have love in your heart, and anybody show that they loved you in any way, no matter how little or whatever it was, it's a good day. I felt God loved you if He woke you up this morning, so that's a blessing.
Right.
So now,
That's
what can
good.
you do for yourself for the rest of this Valentine's Day to love yourself? What's your take?
That's good.
Okay.
That's my take on it too, Sonia. I think we need to view this day that this is the day that God has made. We rejoice in it,
Glad in
and
it.
we're going to be glad. Whatever state you're in, if you're in the single state, the marriage state,
Yes,
the separate, whatever state you're in, thank God you're in some type of state. Some people didn't see today.
that's so
But
true.
the bottom line is what we're talking about is that we need to learn to love ourselves every day. And it doesn't have to be where you are spending a lot of money on yourself. You need to do self-care, take care of your mind, take care of your emotions, take care of your relationships.
Absolutely. So it's been a pleasure talking to you guys today. And the important takeaway is you deserve to be loved 365 days of the year. And that should start with yourself.
Yep.
You
Yep.
deserve it. So don't let anybody, if anybody tells you different, you look the other way because there's something wrong with them. So, and you have control to love yourself 365 days of the year. And so today I'm actually gonna run me a bubble bath, put some candles around it. And I always talk about doing it, but I don't do it a lot. But I'm gonna do that. What are you gonna do, Kay, that you haven't done today? Anything different? Anything else for today?
No, I'm just gonna I don't watch a lot of TV. I maybe watch an hour of TV a week. So I'm gonna watch some TV this evening. So
Okay.
that's something I never do. So I'm gonna watch TV from now to 2 in the morning because I don't have to get up because tomorrow's a snow day.
Not a snow day. Okay, well, we're going to leave on that note. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Your Voice, and we look forward to the next one. We appreciate you guys. You guys have a fabulous Love Yourself Day, 365 days of the year, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Bye, y'all. See y'all next week.
Bye bye.